Welcome back to Arise Primetime. I'm Somna Sambo, and of course I have our guest analyst for today who will help us understand all we've heard here. We have Dr. Constance Ikokwu, who will help us understand the issues of the day. She's a journalist and political affairs commentator, and of course, Arise News analyst. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Ikokwu. Talk to us about what you've heard from the members of the governing party in Nigeria and the optimism. I mean, they are so optimistic that they will win next month's election, despite all that Nigerians are saying.
They said a lot, and there is a lot to unpack. From the conversations of the two men. I want to start with the last person, Mr. Audu, right?
Yeah.
He did say that we've had the best 7 years of our country since the return to democracy in 1999. I think that's a stretch, saying that it's been the best. I don't think so. I mean, at what rate have we been growing in the last 7 years? We didn't even grow up to 5%. Do you want to compare it to President Olusegun Obasanjo's over 6% steadily for 2 terms? I mean, I think it's really a stretch. Anyway, that's expected because it looks like the APC has always been on a blaming game and throwing around figures. And then for the first guest, I mean, he said interesting things, and let's lay it out, the scenario in Kano. Starting from President Muhammadu Buhari, he said that Muhammadu Buhari's vote is likely to translate to vote for Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC today. I don't really think so. President Buhari is a court-like figure, and I don't think there's anyone like him in this election during this season. There's no one like him. I mean, in 2015, he won Kano by 1.7 million votes. And then in 2019 by 1.4 million votes, over 70%, beating Atiku. So Kano for this year is up for grabs. And I say it's up for grabs because we have to look at the 3 parties, running parties there. So we have the APC, we have the PDP, and then we have the NNPP, which is relatively new. But the person behind the NNPP is a heavyweight in Kano, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. He was a governor twice. And then he was a Minister of Finance. Defense.
Minister of Defense,
yes.
And former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Exactly, he was Minister of Defense. The current governor, Alhaji Ganduje,
Abdullahi Ganduje,
is his mentee. So he has a say in Kano. I don't know if Kwankwaso is playing a long game or a short game. And what I mean by that is he just using this to negotiate something for himself? I think that at the state level, NNPP will probably pick some seats. At the National Assembly, they'll also pick some seats. He's trying to build the party, which is good. But will he stay on the ballot until the election? If he stays on the ballot, then it's going to be a 3-way. And there will be a split of votes between the APC, PDP, and NNPP. If he withdraws from the ballot, then I don't know who is going to throw his weight behind, whether APC or PDP. Then it will be between the two. So it depends on whether Kwankwaso stays or not. That would determine if APC is going to win Kano or not.
Well, Dr. Constance, when we talked about the cost of living with the APC leaders here, many of them just parried it and they just keep saying that, look, I mean, it's always been like that in Nigeria since 1999. The cost of prices of goods have always, been rising and not really coming down. What do you make about those kind of things? And they just keep throwing figures about the social investment programs that the APC-led federal government has, pumped a lot of money into, and that a lot of people have been taken out of poverty through the social investment programs like Empower and Market Women, Market Money, and all those trader money and all those initiatives.
I mean, it's good that you mentioned the social investment programs, which was basically giving cash to people. I don't know which country lifts people out of poverty by giving them raw cash. I think you have to do more than that. If the economic environment is anti-business, then it's difficult for the people to be lifted out of poverty. We know already that government cannot employ everybody. You should expand the economic space so that small businesses can employ more people and they have the environment that supports their businesses. For instance, we talk about power. It's a major issue because if you're able to generate electricity that is steady, then that amount of money that people spend on generators, it's taken off their budgets or off their books. It helps a lot. So it's not about giving cash. It's about government thinking of creative and innovative ways to expand the economic space, the economic base for other people to pick up, businesses, build business. Nigerians are very talented, very creative. You just need to create the space for them to do what they need to do, and they'll fly.
Well, and the last one, when I talked about endorsements, I mean, they just parried the issue of endorsements, saying that, look, Obasanjo's endorsement doesn't really mean so much. They are banking on the endorsement of the Nigerian voters as a governing party. Do you think that, with the way Tinubu was feeling more at home in Kano and all of that, that actually, that from the crowd we saw at the Kano rally, that can translate to votes for Tinubu and the APC?
Potentially. Kano is an APC state now. Abdullahi Ganduje is very rooted there, although he almost lost his election the last time in 2019. But it's still in control in Kano state. So they will get votes. The crowd you saw, I don't think that it was a hired crowd. That there are a lot of people.
That's what the opposition is saying, actually.
Look, Kano and Lagos have the largest people in terms of population in this country. So what you saw, I don't think it's hired. And then the APC is popular in the north because in the last 8 years, almost 8 years, it's been APC. So what you saw is I think is real. However, like I have analyzed before, it's going to be a three-way race. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not a Buhari. Buhari is not on the ballot. So yes, his vice president, Kashim Shettima, is also popular in the north, in the northeast. He's going to help him a lot. But they're not going to get all the votes in Kano. They have to work hard as well. But they have to work really, really hard. Well,
and it's so interesting that Labour Party is actually not being featured in the politics of Kano.
Yeah, because
any reason for that specifically?
Labour is not strong in the northeast and northwest, and it's because it's relatively new. Give it another 7 years. If they really, really want, they can do that. That's something. I think it was the first speaker that mentioned. He said something. I can't remember what he said. I was trying to connect something, but Labour, it will take time. Yeah, he talked about the ANPP candidate, President Muhammad Buhari, who he said, President Muhammad Buhari ran for 3 times on the platform of ANPP. So he wanted to compare it to Labour. No, you cannot, because ANPP was a regional party, regional northern party. There was no way he could have won that election. Labour is more widespread, but they are not existent in the northwest and the northeast. So give them time. I think they can do it. Maybe not this time around, but
very interesting
in future.
Postulation there. Dr. Constance Ikokwu is our Rise News analyst. I must thank you for joining us, for helping us to understand this, because when he was actually bringing that issue up, that Buhari ran 3 times on a party that wasn't national and he lost, making comparison with Labour Party, I was like, well, it's left for our viewers to actually judge. Well, we must thank you so much for being on the show with us and helping us to understand this, and that's how it's been for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Somna Sambo.